I'm Samantha, and my story begins with a difficult decision to leave my marriage. My husband's drinking had spiraled out of control, leaving him neglectful of his responsibilities, and after enduring it for too long, I finally chose to separate from him. Seeking solace, I decided to visit my daughter, Victoria, in June. She lives in a quiet village now, married to John, a man 10 years her senior. They both work tirelessly, but their life together has been marked by the absence of children, a void they seem to have no time to fill. As I arrived, I never imagined that this trip would take such an unexpected turn. John, my son-in-law, had always been someone I admired from afar, a tall, strong man who, to be honest, fit my type perfectly. We'd always shared easy conversations, but this time felt different, especially after such a long time apart. What I didn't know then was that John had been harboring feelings for me, feelings that would soon lead to a revelation I hadn't anticipated. The fact that my daughter was not yet on vacation allowed the two of us to have a good time together. We went boating on the lake with my son-in-law, and it was a lot of fun for all of us combined. In spite of the fact that we engaged in a great deal of conversation about a variety of subjects, I ultimately came to the realization that he was making every effort to confine the conversation to romantic tales surrounding the mother-in-law and the son-in-law. I thought these stories to be quite interesting to a certain level. However, I no longer find them to be that interesting because, after all, they are about my son-in-law, and my daughter would raise a scandal if she found out about it. Despite this, it did take place at some point. It was business as usual when my son-in-law and I went to the lake. We both wore plaids. He led me to a location that had never been visited by a man before. I grabbed a bottle of wine and suggested that we have a drink to cheer ourselves up. I made the suggestion. At first, he was adamantly opposed to it, but eventually, he gave in and consented. Something as simple as a bottle of wine was enough to get me excited, and then I realized that I was already intoxicated. John placed his hand on my shoulder, turned on the music on his phone, and we immediately began dancing. A lot of fun was had by all, but I had no idea how it was going to come to an end. After we had finished dancing, we became exhausted and laid down on the grass. I was kissed by Mike at that precise moment. For me, it was a delightful surprise that came out of nowhere. Despite the fact that I was intoxicated, I was conscious of my actions. In addition, we were already sweating after only a few minutes of being in this heat, and the trees that were close to us appeared to have turned red based on what we observed. We eventually laid down and basked in the sun, which helped us to rid our bodies of the exhaustion that had built up. And then I came to the realization that Mikey's son-in-law would suddenly have a full-time workload all the time since he would have to work twice as hard as he was used to. This would occur when my daughter was at work. I am not going to allow him to have even a single moment of relaxation after this. Thanks for watching.